Okay, let's unpack this.
Do it.
When you think about beverages in Taiwan, your mind, it just immediately goes to tea, right?
Of course. High Mountain Oolong's bubble tea. It's a classic.
Exactly. But if you zoom in on just the last, say, 20 years, there's been this quiet but massive revolution happening.
Right?
Coffee hasn't just shown up on the scene.
No, not at all.
It has become an absolutely foundational element of daily urban life. It's incredible.
It's a fascinating study in cultural adaptation, really. You know, we often see the big international chains roll in and introduce the idea of coffee to a place. But in Taiwan, the local scene just, well, it completely took over and evolved that model.
They didn't just copy it.
Not even close. They perfected it. They prioritized this intense personalization, incredible quality, and creating spaces that just feel completely unique.
And that's really the core of our deep dive today. We want to go beyond, the simple caffeine fix. We're going to analyze the unique culture, the surprising multifunctionality of these cafes, and maybe most importantly, the specialized, almost ritualistic brewing methods that define the whole scene.
It's such a great window into contemporary urban life there.
If we connect this to the bigger picture, what's driving this? Is it just a trend?
I don't think so.
Oh, God.
There's a crucial socioeconomic driver at play here.
Okay.
Taiwanese cities are dense. They're fast-paced.
Right.
So the cafe adapted. It didn't just become a place to sell drinks. It became essential infrastructure, a third space that isn't work and isn't home.
But it kind of serves the function of both.
Precisely.
I think that is the key distinction. It's the difference between a place you just pass through and a place you actually use.
Yes.
There's so much more than a spot to grab a drink. So what does that look like on the ground? What's the actual utility here?
Oh, it's absolutely crucial. I mean, think about the tight living quarters in a city like Taipei, or the high pressure of academic and professional life. The cafe becomes a release valve.
A necessity.
A total necessity. It functions seamlessly as a quiet study room for students, a full-on co-working space for freelancers,
Right.
and, just a relaxed social corner where friends can meet up for hours and not feel like they're being rushed out the door.
It sounds like they're almost providing a public service that, real estate just can't offer at home.
That's a great way to put it.
So when you walk into one, what's the atmosphere telling you?
It's a quiet bustle. It's not silent, but it's focused.
Interesting.
You almost never see people just, downing a coffee and leaving.
Yeah.
Instead, you'll see students with their textbooks spread out, set up for like 5 hours.
Wow.
You'll see freelancers deep in video calls, headphones on, colleagues running informal little meetings. The whole vibe is settle in, stay a while.
That expectation has to be supported by the cafe owners, though. Otherwise, they'd go out of business just being a community center.
Oh, absolutely. They are incredibly accommodating. And it's the little hospitality details that make those long stays possible. Well, for starters, they provide the essentials you'd find in a library or an office. Ample, easy-to-access outlets everywhere.
A huge one.
A game changer. And high-speed, reliable Wi-Fi. Critically, there's also this carefully curated atmosphere, usually a quiet, focused playlist. They're basically inviting productivity.
It's such a contrast to, say, the European model, where lingering too long can sometimes feel a bit frowned upon.
Totally.
Here, lingering is the business model.
Precisely. And that sense of settling in, it extends the cafe's role out into the wider neighborhood.
How so?
Well, beyond just study and work, these places will host art exhibitions for local artists, or open mic nights, sometimes even small pop-up markets.
So they're community hubs?
You completely blur the line. It's not just a coffee shop. It's a true integrated community nexus.
I'm just struck by the scale of this. We're talking over 4,000 independent cafes. Just independent ones.
All across the island, from Taipei to Tainan.
But with that kind of volume, doesn't that create a problem with, consistency in quality?
Yeah, that's a great question. And it's where the culture's commitment to craft really comes in.
Okay.
Most of these independent shops roast their own beans, often in-house.
Ah, so they control the source.
They control everything, the freshness, the specific flavor profiles. And they often serve these signature desserts, which act as a second hallmark of quality.
Like what kind of desserts?
It could be a delicate matcha-dusted tiramisu, or maybe a locally inspired brown sugar cake. The point is, individuality and control are just paramount.
That focus on radical quality control, well, that's actually the perfect bridge to what really sets this culture apart. Here's where it gets really interesting. This intense cultural devotion to the pour-over method.
This is, without a doubt, the defining feature of the high-end scene. Locally, they just refer to it as, manual brewing.
And it has roots somewhere else, doesn't it?
Oh, definitely. It represents a dedication to precision and patience that is deeply, deeply rooted in Japanese coffee culture, which was a huge influence.
So why the pour-over? I mean, what's the goal of this method compared to, say, pulling a quick espresso shot?
The goal is ultimate clarity. It's about delineating the flavors.
Okay.
It's a slow, completely manual process. The barista uses specialized equipment, a ceramic V60 cone, maybe a Chemex, and they carefully pour hot water over the coffee grounds in a very precise spiraling motion,
So it's all about control.
controlling the flow rate, the temperature, down to the gram in the second.
Wow. That must demand just absolute undivided attention.
It really does. It requires intense focus and just a ton of patience. A lot of cafes use digital scales to measure the exact amount of water. It's the total antithesis of a big automated coffee machine.
It sounds like an act of mindfulness.
That's the perfect word for it.
And what does that methodical precision deliver to me, the person drinking it?
You get a cup that's defined by this amazingly rich aroma, but also a really clean, delicate taste. Because the extraction is slower and so carefully monitored, it pulls out all the nuanced notes. The fruity, the floral, the acidic notes of single-origin beans without any of the bitterness or heavy sediment.
So if you have a really complex coffee,
This method makes it sing. In Ethiopian yirgacheffe, for instance, all those subtle flavors just pop.
it sounds less like a beverage delivery system and more like a shared ritual,
Exactly.
a moment of stillness in a very busy city.
That's it. And that ritual infuses the whole space with a sense of deliberate quality. Cafes take immense pride in this. They highlight the sourcing of their beans. They customize their filters. Every single cup is an individual project.
That whole idea of slow, deliberate craft, it translates directly into the atmosphere we were talking about.
It all connects.
And if you're planning on diving into this culture, you, our listener, need to be able to communicate. So let's pivot to a practical vocabulary session.
Good idea.
Because understanding the language here isn't just about ordering a drink. It's about connecting with that entire unique vibe of modern Taiwanese life.
And the great thing is, ordering in English is completely practical. It's always welcome.
So no need to be intimidated.
Not at all. These cafes are super friendly, very flexible. They're used to accommodating all sorts of requests, whether you need oat milk or soy milk or you're asking about a special blend. They just want you to be comfortable.
Okay, let's start with the key terms. If you need something strong, concentrated, that real kick to get you going.
You're asking for an espresso.
Right, you could say, I need a shot of espresso to wake up.
Simple enough. Now for something creamier, a bit more of a morning comfort drink, you'd go for a latte.
A very common order would be something like, she ordered an iced latte with oat milk.
And that shows the flexibility right there.
Yeah.
They almost always have milk alternatives.
Okay, so what if you want that strong coffee base, but milder and less milky?
That's your classic Americano. Espresso plus hot water.
A good example would be, he drinks an Americano every morning.
And if foam is your thing, you're looking for a cappuccino.
Right, the one you might see with that intricate latte art.
Exactly. The barista made a heart-shaped cappuccino.
And you just used our next word, the person making all this happen, the barista.
Yes, and they're often incredibly knowledgeable. It's totally fine to say something like, the barista recommended a new single-origin bean.
Great. Now, the general term for making coffee or tea is to brew.
This really highlights that manual process we talked about. You might hear, they brew each cup by hand here.
And back to the absolute centerpiece of the culture, the pour-over.
Remember, this is that slow, manual method.
Yeah.
All about aroma and flavor clarity.
So a real coffee lover might say he prefers pour-over coffee for its clean, smooth taste.
Now, if you're not staying to linger and work for 5 hours,
Right.
you'll need your drink to go. A really simple request, can I get this to go?
And on the flip side, if you are staying, you might be curious about a refill.
Yeah, you could ask, some cafes offer free refills on black coffee.
Okay, now for two words that aren't about the drink, but the experience itself. The first is cozy.
Meaning warm, comfortable, inviting.
You could say it's a small but cozy place to read.
And the big one, the overarching word that ties it all together is the vibe.
Right. The feeling, the mood of the place.
This cafe has such a relaxing vibe.
So to put it all together, you could walk in and say,
Can I get an iced latte to go? Or one cappuccino for here, please.
and just using those terms connects you right into the culture of the space.
What's fascinating here is how these thousands of independent spaces cater to literally every possible mood.
Have all found their niche?
It's a huge trend. The market is so saturated that they have to specialize. So you don't just find a cafe. You find a cat cafe where you can, sip your coffee with a cat on your lap.
I love that.
Or book cafes, which are basically quiet libraries that happen to serve amazing coffee. And then there are plant cafes.
A plant cafe? What does that even mean?
It means you're literally sitting in a mini indoor jungle. It's amazing.
I really appreciate that. The idea that you choose your coffee shop based on the exact emotional setting you need for that day.
Yeah, not just because it's close by. And we also see trends driven by the local climate. Because it's so hot and humid for a lot of the year, the overwhelming favorite for office workers and students is cold brew and iced lattes.
They're essential go-to drinks.
For sure. Just for surviving a long, productive day.
And this all just culminates in that core idea of utility and comfort. I mean, you can picture the daily scenarios playing out all over Taiwan.
Totally. Just think of a typical late afternoon. One person is prepping for an all-nighter. They desperately need a strong Americano to stay awake.
Been there.
Their friend suggests a specific cafe near the station. Not just because the coffee is good, but because...
Fake quiet and has great Wi-Fi.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And the plan is to just grab a corner and camp out until the last train home.
That perfectly encapsulates it. The physical space is actively supporting what people need to do.
Productivity, study, connection. It's all facilitated by that one carefully designed spot. The shop supports the life happening inside it.
It's a truly evolved model.
It is. The commitment to providing that quiet, reliable, beautiful space is just as important as brewing the perfect cup of coffee.
So what does this all mean when we boil it down? What's our final takeaway?
I think it's that the cafe in Taiwan has just completely redefined itself.
It has. It's fundamentally a corner for creativity, for deep focus, for friendship, for rest. It's a sanctuary, really.
Yeah, it's not just a place to consume something and rush off.
It's that essential third space that accommodates the intense demands of modern life, while, and this is the paradox,
Right.
it simultaneously retains this deep traditional commitment to the physical craft of brewing.
And our challenge to you, the listener, is this.
Right.
Next time you find yourself in a really cozy cafe, try using some of the English vocabulary we covered to describe the vibe, or even just to place your order.
And a second thought, something for you to mull over. We
Yeah.
spent a lot of time talking about the intensive, deliberate, and deeply mindful practice of the pour-over.
A skill that demands slowness, focus, patience.
Exactly. Yet that exact same space, which is fueled by that slow craft, is primarily used to power the speed and digital efficiency of the modern remote workday.
The freelancers on video calls, the students on deadlines.
So here's the question. Which aspect of that vibe, the slow, contemplative craftsmanship or the fast-paced digital execution, do you think ultimately wins out in the unique culture of the Taiwanese cafe?